Hey yo, it's Deuces here with tips to get better at Warzone. So the first thing I want to go over is I want to make sure that tactical sprinting is enabled in the settings. This is important so that you can get better movement and move around the map faster. Then I recommend you turning up your field of view all the way up so that you can see your surroundings. So then you have better movement and you can see your surroundings. This is crucial to the tips I'm going to be giving you in this video. My first tip is that you want to be always actively moving around the map, trying to find better positioning, trying to find your loot that you need to have a more advantage in gunfights. This also includes jumping around, crouching, going prone while you're in gunfights, mounting on walls, doing all that stuff. You just want to be able to get to positioning as fast as you can and as efficient as you can. Okay, so now honestly, my next tip is going to sound kind of stupid to some, but trust me, this is very important. This is honestly just because you have more communication with your team, first of all with the microphone. Also, the game might seem more enjoyable because you're playing with others and you're interacting, and maybe there's some joking around that's going on, and etc. Also, if you have the headset, you can hear your surroundings better than you would if you were hearing it over a TV. This is important so you can hear stuff like footsteps and stuff like gunshots in the distance and etc. Generally, my next tip would just be practicing your aim. When you load into matches, go ahead and go into the firing range and put as many plates as you can and try to get headshots every single time. Move around in the firing range while you're doing this, which will help. And one cheat that I do know that helps a lot is that when you're shooting at somebody, if you're moving a little bit to the left or right, it'll delay the recoil of the weapon, which will give you more mobility and also make you a harder target to hit. Now, once you start to master that, you can add things into it like jumping or crouching or going prone or laying down. That will make you much more of a harder target to hit, but also it'll make your aiming easier with recoil. My next tip for you is honestly play the game. Play the game as much as you can, as long as you can. This will just give you more experience. We'll look up other videos about how to get better, and I assure you, you will get better because practice makes perfect, and it is the key to how to get better. Maybe invite friends to help you out, maybe group up with people that you can learn from, maybe even record your gameplay so you can re-watch it and see what you could have done better next time. This helps a lot and I absolutely recommend you doing it. Another thing that you could also do to get better at the game is honestly, instead of looking up all these hacks that most hackers do, just get controller game freaks, which are basically these things that are attached to your joysticks that make it easier to aim. And how does it make it easier to aim? Well, it just gives you better grip and mobility in your controller, and I highly recommend. One other thing you can do, and this is something that you don't have to do, but it might help. Play the other Call of Duties. What I mean by this is I mean some of the older ones, like the older Black Ops or stuff like that. Now, the reasoning for this is just to get the feel for Call of Duty in general. Warzone and Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 are very complex Call of Duties. And if you want to get good at Call of Duty in general, I recommend you playing some of the older games to get a feel for it. And what I mean by a feel for it, I mean a feel for the aiming type, a feel for the gameplay type, a feel for the movement. Because the movement and the aiming changes a lot during the newer Call of Duties, meaning Warzone and Modern Warfare. But one aspect they have that the older ones have as well is the style and the way the movement and how aiming works. And it's honestly a hard thing to explain and it's something you just have to figure out for yourself. My next tip for you is be creative with your gunfights. Maybe when you're in a gunfight, you move away and you get to a different positioning, like from the floor to the ceiling, or the roof to the ground. Or maybe you slide into the enemy like you just saw in that clip. Honestly, you just kind of mix it in between and you try to figure out ways to manipulate the enemy into thinking you're here but really you're somewhere else, or you're just faster than the enemy, which will come through practice. One tip I will give to you that a lot of people disagree with just because people like them: do not worry about skins. Do not try to get them. Do not take all your time into looking through the store. In reality, they don't help you. In reality, sure, maybe a gun looks different, so the aiming is different, but in reality, other than that, everything else is pointless. And just try to focus on playing the game to your all, and just don't waste your money until you know you're good at the game, and until you know that it is worth it. That you don't have anything else to do, then just play the game, which you've done multiple times. So just don't jump into buying stuff when you start the game. And this is more of an advice than of a tip, but I ran into this problem and I wish I knew this before. My next tip for you is don't play the game too competitively. Don't spend too much time into the game, because eventually you'll get tired of the game and you will start to have a worse performance and you will not be imperfect. But keep trying, giving your all when you do play, and don't get too frustrated if you lose a match or you don't get a 360 no-scope because you did something wrong. And most importantly, do not get dragged up into simple, basic videos of telling you, oh yeah, just do this and you'll immediately get better, because they're all wrong. A lot of people will say, oh yeah, Call of Duty, you bunny hop around and you get better. That is wrong. That is not true, and do not listen to that. Anyway, that is tips for Warzone. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. And also, have an amazing day.
You're dependent.